придется ждать в любом случае. Вопрос серьезный, совсем такой. Я не помню, какой час эфира, и отвечать очень сложно, поэтому Иван, да, это возможно. Спасибо. Иван, я понял, что нужно прорекламировать. Ладно, ребят, я, короче, всего, на самое время, сделать то, ради чего мы собрались. Я просто беру и вашу здравствуйте на нашей экране. Это как это ошибок, внимание, обороны. Я это говорю, сегодня не позволил. Я показываю себе
Radiant team pick.
Конечно, команда уважает это правило, но нам не надо, значит, поэтому тяжело сейчас рассказать. Во-первых, всем интересно, что там все хотят знать, а во-вторых, они дали побольше маркетинга. Я говорю, не брать побольше маркетинга. Ну, бывает, да, тут нельзя брать много, он получается. Если кто-то прыгает, я обязательно пока что не выделяю, не видел, как он играет. Как раз то, о чем говорили. Но знаете, гамма, который делает если не видите, всякие там будет оборот, он гамма не будет. Дальше не нравится ситуация.
10 seconds remaining.
А какие статы? Но не очень долгие, на самом деле. Серьезно прокачка. Не видите, это у нас 20 времени. Вообще говоря, он как раз не получил, чтобы он не продажи. Это, конечно, не знаю. Ну, потому что ты не видел материи. Вообще говоря, я подарил брюку, и я не прыгаю за работу. Я как поработал, так и заработал. Да, это приза, да, у меня под столом стоит. Я просто вижу, что
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. DC's turn to pick. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Treant Protector.
DC's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Imba Spirit.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Medusa.
DC's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Ten seconds remaining. DC's turn to pick. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I speak for the trees.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Что ж, тогда давайте начинать с третьей серии. Выиграл первая карта, где что? Сейчас слово зал, где Рома Каспер нашел себе другого Диму, чтобы матч. Дима на этом первом.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the National Palace of the Arts. We're live here on the floor, myself, LD, and Purge, getting ready for our third elimination match of day one, Kevin.
Yeah, kind of exciting to see a lot of teams on that knife's edge of do they go home, do they stay in the tournament, and I think this is going to be one of the closest matches of the day for sure. I mean, very similarly ranked. They both went 2-2. They both had some tough opponents. They both had maybe some less tough opponents, but we really don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, we really don't know what's going to happen with these teams either, and I think that's true for the players as much as it is for the fans out there. And you know, regardless of what happened at the group stage, now you come to the main event. For DC, their first big stage appearance as a team, had a great showing in the qualifiers to get here. But I had a chance to speak to Demon this morning at breakfast, and he said coming into Kiev Major, they were feeling really kind of crappy as a team. They had lost at one point 16 scrims in a row. And yes, scrims are scrims, they are practice, but for morale and for a team that hasn't proven themselves yet, that could be something that tilts you a little bit. So since then, had a better showing in the group stage. We'll see if they can deliver, but coming in, maybe a team that's a little bit nervous with a lot to prove.
Yeah, with that said, though, they did do really well in the group stage, so all they got to do is win one good best of 3, and they double their money. That's pretty amazing. Top 8 already.
All right, so let's talk a little about the drafts here. I think you mentioned it as soon as the Deuce got picked, that the VGJ Gaming draft does look quite reminiscent of something IG ran earlier today with great success.
Yeah, exactly. Medusa as pretty much the solo core with Avenge backing it up, but you know, it's a little bit more of a supporty type carry, and then a lot of good heals and team fight to back it up on top of that. So may work out really well. IG's game, it ended up being a pretty much straightforward closeout, just repel the Medusa and hit buildings. They don't have that same magic immunity though.
Aggressive, playing up to his name here, is going to assume the high ground. They were going for an early invasion play, VGJ Gaming, Jay, as they continue to move forward, wanting to contest this bounty rune. DC, not really the strongest level 1. They are going to give it up for free here. So a little bit of extra gold in their pockets. And we are going to see on the flip side, for Digital Chaos, the 5th pick, Phoenix, maybe caught them a little off guard at going into that pick. Not many ways to deal with the egg. So they end things with the Bulba, Nature's Prophet, taking a page maybe out of the Liquid playbook as well.
Yeah,
with that.
It's a rare time where your last pick, as the team that has to grab their last pick first, actually throws the enemy team off, just because of the fact it fits so well in with the team fight and because of the lack of range heroes on DC. But I think the Prophet was a pretty good reaction to that, especially because Phoenix is a pretty crappy laner. No armor on the hero. He did get like a 2 base strength buff, which is 40 HP, but it may not be enough.
Yeah, so early on, we are going to see the Deuce mid matching up against Abed on the Ember Spirit, taking some early harassment. Mason running what's become one of the most popular carries, at least here on day one in the main event, as Bulba is going to be brought down. Quick pick for VGJ Gaming, finding the first blood. So Nature's Prophet, not off to a great start here. But yeah, we're seeing yet another Spectre pick in the safe lane, not really being contested right now.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough sometimes for Abaddon to actually go to the lane, especially against a Warlock who has great animation, great nuke, and against a Monkey King as well, especially if he gets a fast Orb of Venom. It's tough to play against, and that's exactly what happened to the Prophet, actually. With Tree there, you don't know if he's there. Maybe he is, maybe it isn't. If he gets a stun off and the Orb of Venom slow, it's very often a kill.
Dubu already going hunting here in the Radiant Woods. He is searching for that jungling and low HP Abaddon as he dances from tree to tree. Not going to find him just yet, and in fact, it looks like RTK may dodge the bullet. He did start with the Iron Talon here, and he is already heading back towards the base. Looks like he will be healing up, so doing so also avoids potential gank or EXP being leached.
Did you see this cosmetic of his during DAC? I heard it's a very rare item. It stole some like effect from a courier, which is why it looks so ridiculous. That's pretty cool. That's value right there.
Two for the price of one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you can see the Dubo is really intent on trying to slow down this off-lane Abaddon as he has dropped down a sentry to potentially block one of those camps. Still sitting around mid. Thinking about a potential move on Freeze, but no signs that RTK wants to go to the offlane right now. So Spectre will be getting free farm, and after that Death Bulba, he's made the same transition off to the jungle now and is entirely uncontested, at least for the time being.
Yeah, it's not too bad for Nature's Prophet. I mean, hypothetically, if Monkey King does find an opening, he can show up, but I like what Fenrir is doing here. He's reacting to what the Monkey is doing. They did see him leap over, obviously.
Oh, they caught him here with the scan.
Oh.
Can they break the tree?
They missed it, actually. They
Three
didn't quite
VG
predict it.
Gaming heroes, they're just going to start demolishing. Fenrir killing his brethren. He goes again for it.
It takes a sign of a really good Monkey King player when that kind of stuff happens. You just don't move. You're like, oh.
They're just going to kill the entire forest at this point.
Like, not moving is actually so much better than jumping, because as soon as you jump, they have a chance of spotting you from a tower, or maybe another tree moves. But if you just hold still and they don't get you, it's a lot of times safer.
Oh,
he can get caught here.
Oh, jumping across the way. Will he get eaten? He will. Has the stun, gets the bash. Will he get the follow-up, though? RTK coming, but Dubu just going to TP away and should be A-okay. So a lot of space created there, Kevin, and they're not able to find the kill.
Phoenix comes all the way from the safe lane, does a dive, doesn't work, loses HP. Durant uses at least 2 to 3 tangos. Yeah, he TP'd out as well, but now blocking that camp with a sentry, I don't know if that one's actually going to pay off or not. It might not be up in time to block the 5-minute, but he's definitely made a lot of space. Forces opponents to rotate, things like that.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Ember doing about even here versus the Dusa in the mid lane, so Abed having a decent start. And most importantly, it's a free farm Spectre, 25-7, entirely uncontested. Normally Abaddon thought of as a very irritating offlaner, but he has not been that presence, just giving up free farm to the Spectre so far.
Yeah, and something else I forgot about, it's not just the fact that there's a Monkey King Warlock. Prophet could show up as well. That's 4 right clicks that could hit this guy before he has level 6. That's a huge threat. But with that said, he's picked up level 3 already. He's done fairly well, considering that Monkey King could have been there to sap experience. So I think he's going to be pretty pleased with his position right now.
So we have a pause here. We have a moment, I think, to talk about like the longer-term view for this game. So given the two compositions, Kevin, how do you feel they match up? Where are kind of the power spikes for each lineup, and what are each team's respective goals heading towards the mid and potentially late game?
Yeah, VG Gaming is all about team fighting, basically. They'll probably have a fairly passive first 10 minutes. Phoenix wants to get his level 6, obviously. Treant Protector is usually going to do some roaming, but would love a faster level 6 as well. And ultimately, they'll eventually group up and start pushing towers with Medusa as the front line, or a combo Avenge with the Medusa. So then they'll be looking for vulnerable moments like swapping somebody out of position, killing them, starting the team fight on their decision-making kind of a thing. But at least the way that IG played it earlier today, it was definitely very passive for about 10 minutes or so. On DC's side of the map, they're definitely going to want to get their 6s, that kind of a thing. And then they're going to start to want grouping Warlock, make him show up somewhere, and then they'll Haunt, bring in the Spectre, bring in the Nature's Prophet. So DC is basically ready to fight at any moment. And that's one thing that really sticks out to me this game. When you think about Liquid playing it earlier today, it was basically like, I doom somebody, you haunt in. But DC has like so many more options. It could be Monkey King finding somebody. It could be Warlock finding somebody. It could be Ember. It's basically anybody on their team, and they can get two hero backup instantly. So VG Gaming, if they do want to go slow for this first 10 minutes or so, I feel like DC has way more roaming potential, assuming they get the levels a bit faster.
Yeah, they have incredible mobility between the Prophet, the Ember, who can and often do show up at any time, as you mentioned, the Spectre Haunt, and even the Monkey King, where you never quite know what he's up to in the trees. So Vici called for the pause, but looks like we're ready to go. We get back into it with Vici Gaming looking to reset now. So interestingly, are running aggressive on the Venge, and something you don't really know with a lot of the teams that run this hero is will it be a support, will it be a carry, as they have also run FY Audit in the support role, but is playing that safe lane Venge, and generally we do see players on that the carry Venge getting quite active in like the early to mid game. Yeah. Once they get their 7 to 9 or so and really start looking for ganks, solo pushing towers if they're left undefended. So I'm interested to see where aggressive looks to move.
One other big thing that's important actually before this Observer Ward dies is ROTK did actually block the large camp at the start of the game. The ward almost dead now, but that definitely impacts Demon's levels a lot. He's not even level 3 right now.
Yeah,
and that's all because less resources in the jungle.
You can see FY really trying to harass and bully Dubu a bit here, keep him out of the lane as much as possible. So he's trying to leech experience in this bottom lane, but decides not the safest place to be. Instead, he's going to rotate towards top. Now hunting RTK, who is level 3. So still killable at this stage of the game. Running out of mana as well, but leeching that experience, starting to be a bit of a nuisance. And all the while, relatively quiet laning stage aside from that. Most supports just trying to get their levels. We'll see RTK run to Demon here, give him a little thwack, but not too much threat of a kill just yet.
You know, the levels are definitely the biggest impact right now, but it seems like both teams are pretty similar. I guess Nature's Prophet looking to have a decent advantage. Almost level 5 here. Abaddon's about a level behind that. But the supports as a whole, very equivalent levels right now. So looks like both teams will get their 6s about the same time. We'll see if that impacts if DC can get an advantage with theirs.
Yeah, and often when we do see the safe lane Spectre, like it used to be the old way to play Spectre was hyper passive, but I want to say like for the last year or so, it's as soon as you hit 6, you're looking for that haunt gank. And sometimes the team will even smoke TP to try and set it up right away. And speaking of which, Mason, very close to level 6 now, has the phase boot, so he is a real threat for a potential early rotation.
Yeah, absolutely, but I think it's going to have to be Dubu if I look at it. I mean, Ember can definitely rotate as well. That's a great hero that can gank side lanes and stuff, but Demon's only level 3. Maybe Prophet can initiate, but that's not very safe either. So I think it may take another stronger hero with some more disable, like Monkey King getting maybe level 4, level 3, something like that. He actually does pick up a smoke right now. He's going to grab Abed, so that's going to be the target here. 6 on Ember. Dubu's level 2, but that's good enough. And they're going to rotate, probably going for aggressive, I'm guessing. Maybe Freeze. His mana's actually kind of low.
Yeah, Dusa looking surprisingly killable here, at least for the time being, but the line is drawn towards the south. So Abed, Dubu striking a course for this bottom lane.
They got to get here really fast, though, because the middle lane's empty. No Ember Spirit.
Simultaneously, VG Gaming also on a gank of their own, as we can see RTK and Aggressive looking to move in top. They'll defender a bash to start things off. They're going to slow him down into a swap. Aggressive making his move, finds the stun. Follow-up is there. Mason low, but is able to path his way through the trees over to the other side. He's going to make it out. Meanwhile, FY sitting back, but is it far back enough? Diving into the trees, has to pull off his own magic to get away, but Ember's there looking for the catch. Abed doesn't get the chains he was hoping for, and with that, FY also going to TP out. A great escape by both heroes in their respective safe lanes, and now rotation coming in. RTK going to try to hold this tower bottom.
The Prophet ulti came in, but it was a little bit too slow. Too many creeps on the map, and it's not a bad kill if they can get it.
He sees 3 bottom. He's like, this is a safe lane to farm, but Mason says it is not safe for RTK. Get the hell out of here. Phase boot's cooling down. Does not have the mana here for the shield, and Mason with one more swipe is going to get the kill. So an early kill to the Spectre, and should be able to go back to farming, though he's a bit low on HP right now.
That was a little close. There's a chance that would have taken 2 hits, but they do clean it up 1 for 1, and maybe things go static. DC's actually hanging out, though. Abed's still down here, putting down a safety remnant, thinking about cutting the creep wave. This is one really good way to actually reduce what Freeze can do, since he just walked all the way here.
That is a value shrine that DC are getting right now, as 3 heroes who needed it, all gonna top themselves off. Then Mason, quick TP back, so especially with the introduction of shrines, I guess that is one of the big benefits to Spectre. Is it generally doesn't have too much regen in the early game, but this allows him to stay on the field as much as possible and keep his farming up after a hot gank.
That's a great point, absolutely. Spectre did a great job surviving as well. Feeding it back so early. Ooh, big courier snipe here for Prophet. That's a lot of gold in the early game.
The great Bulbino off to a good start here for DC. Has the phase boots, picked up the bracer. Could well be seeing the early drums from him, as he's going to start farming the enemy wood, so looking to play the economy game simultaneously. Fenrir stalking Dubu and Mason. Dubu's still only level 2. He's going to just now get 3, but it's being stalked a bit. No real threat of a gank here, though, in the top lane. And, you know, with the... I guess that is the question for me, Kevin, is it feels like it's basically on the Venge to make plays, because there isn't a whole lot of gank potential for most of the other VG heroes.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Usually, I was just going to comment, it's weird that Venge is still top lane. Like, normally you gank it, you get out, you escape, but he's actually playing off lane right now, more or less, trying to contest the Spectre a little bit, have the threat of the gank there, and at least Mason does have to be a little worried about getting swapped. But with Venge's mana pool, there's actually not that much threat of him dying right now, so this is just going to hurt his overall net worth, even if it did put some tower pressure on.
And of course, Freeze is still getting this farm, but still a fairly passive presence in this game as he tops the CS charts by a slight margin. So, curious to see if VGJ look to group up anytime soon. Level 5 on FY, so I imagine waiting for the Supernova. Should have it probably in the next minute and a half or so if all goes well. And could potentially look for a group up then, but I mean, that's the beauty of the DC lineup, right? They have great split push with the Prophet, the Ember, so if they don't want to take that fight, they really don't have to.
Yeah, I think DC is way ahead in this way. Demon on the Warlock just hit 6 here. He's walking towards his base. I'm pretty sure he's going to group up with an ally, most likely. Yeah, they're TPing the bot lane. This is where the smoke's coming. So DC's tempo is going to be a little bit ahead of where VGJ Gaming is. Because Phoenix, I don't think he's going to hit 6 in time. He's only 5.5 right now. This is the hero to kill. If they can kill him, quite possibly take the tower afterwards. Yeah, they're committing another TP. This is
moving on to FY. FY gonna dive away. Now the bash coming onto Bulba. Fenrir might end up getting caused. The Nature's Wrath bounces through. Fenrir will be the sacrificial lamb. Boundless Strike to secure that kill. With that, DC gonna start muscling up on this bottom tower. They did force the freeze rotation. Not an easy takedown, but at the same time does not want to try to hold this tower by himself. So he rotates, doesn't get much done, misses out on some farming time. And the Phoenix gets forced away as well, so a pretty big win for DC. Even though it's only 1 kill and a support, they get a lot more farm value out of it.
Yeah, it was very early for Bulba to go in there. I thought that he made a big mistake, but thinking about it now, they didn't have that much cash potential on the Phoenix. I think he just wanted him out of the lane, so he delays his 6 even farther. He does pick up the experience tome now, so now he's got it, but DC's already gotten a tower advantage without using Haunt. That only costs them the hero rotation and the Prophet ulti. That's almost nothing.
Yeah, DC playing, I think you used the perfect word for it, very up-tempo. They already have the Phase Boots earn on Mason. He's certainly combat ready. Bulba with Phase, Drum, and now going back for the Midas. So also a hero that can get very active in these early engagements. The Warlock ult has come online for Demon. And as they see a bit of a slow level 6 for RTK, only just now got it, still trying to farm his Midas. Phoenix just getting level 6 as well. They know they can try and take these early fights, apply pressure, and take advantage of VGJ, who just want to farm that Deucer for late game. But now the jump comes in onto Aggressive. Great catch there by Abed. The swap out says, take my friend instead. Aggressive continuing to run, continuing to try and get away, but the rock gets dropped. Demon doing good work, not finding the kills just yet as RTK strikes first, bringing down Dubu. Demon retaliating with the FY grab, and Aggressive still trying to hunt Mason, but another dagger. Looks like he might escape. Then Abed comes back in. What a great bait by Mason. They will find an additional kill here. Looking still for RTK. Not going to get that one, but they find 2. They get the tower.
Dude, what an amazing fight there for them. I mean, they pressured the lane, they used all their ultimates, but the important thing was they eventually killed that Vengeful Spirit. She was actually so tanky with the early hood and the Abaddon backing her up, but not only that, but that's a down. The Supernova's gone now for 70 seconds. They're instantly going to go to the bot lane, bringing all their full HP heroes, most likely, possibly take another tower. They have huge tower advantage right now. Like you said, Mason is still farming his Radiance. He hasn't made a ton of progress in that engagement, but the kills are huge.
Yeah, Mason coming to a lot of fights, but still when you look at net worth, only, what, 200 down on the Venge, who obviously is going to have a stronger laning presence and very much similar to his own Ember. So overall, in fine shape, as long as you're keeping the enemy team down, that's really all you care about as a Spectre.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll get to late game eventually. So for VGJ, now RTK in a bit of trouble here. He's going to get jumped by Dubu, but the ult gets procced. RTK able to get away for now. The Magic Missile going to follow an Ember Spirit. Eventually stuns him, but a bit too late to find the kill. So now going with the Sun Ray onto Dubu. Can he finish him off? Doesn't quite look like it. Demon able to heal him up with the Shadow Word, and he will slink away. So DC again, heavy pressure, are forced out of the jungle, but no kills forthcoming for VGJ.
Yeah, the fact that they could just keep the Warlock in the safe lane, get a lot of pulls done, faster level 6 on him, really helped in a lot of ways. Even though the Monkey King was only 3, he still feels useful. Obviously, Monkey King Ultimate, amazing, but Dubu, without being 6 here, it still feels like he's contributing to the game, so it's even harder for VGJ Gaming to get stuff done. Like you said, it's Vengeful Spirit that has to set movements and make things happen.
Yeah, and who do you want to initiate on here? Demon sitting quite far back, Monkey King not visible, and Ember generally not an easy hero to catch and attempt to pick off. Very little lockdown for the Ember when you really look at it.
They're thinking about holding this, but they don't have Warlock Golem. They'll go for the 9.
Abed, good effort, but now it gets swapped. Aggressive. Not able to follow that one up. Again, it's a swap into maybe like a tree bash, but that's really stretching it. As DC will retaliate in the top lane. Some pressure, but RTK there to defend it, so taking down that tier 1 mid. Pretty nice grab for VG, but at the very least, DC still farming all the while. Spectre hits 2,600 gold. Now the leader in net worth, Mason is, so all things considered, I think DC pretty damn happy with this first 15 minutes.
Yeah, they really should be. I mean, as soon as they get Radiance up, I feel like a lot of their team fight issues might even be solved. Fenrir getting ganked up.
Fenrir is going to get caught. The smoke was broken, but it didn't seem to matter as he'll be quickly burst down. DC converging, finding the kills. They now have a BOT pickup for Abed, so the mobility ramps up. The Midas also snagged for Bulba, so
Man, that's so good. He can TP to the treants as well, so pretty much all of their heroes can be global. This is a global strat.
except that poor Warlock. He's just like...
He's got legs, man.
Yeah. At least he's got a few to work with.
Somebody's got to carry the wards, okay?
Late game BOTs.
That's true. It's a possibility. You never know. But once they pick up the Radiance, though, any tree armor just burn through almost instantly. Mischance for all of these right-click heroes, I mean, it's basically what? Medusa right-clicking, Venge right-clicking with some spell stuff. The VG Gaming lineup is not looking so hot here. And Medusa's going to have terrible space to farm as well. She can't just sit in the mid lane, keep killing creeps, and be fairly defensible in that position. Now she has to hit up jungles, places like that. It's just not as fast and it's not as safe.
And definitely not safe with that tower falling bottom and the invasion play from DC. Not only do they get the kill, but more importantly, look at these wards, Kevin. Some great vision over wherever the Dusa might farm, any supports who are looking for their levels, and definitely a lineup that we've talked about with their mobility. Can easily punish any hero farming on their own. So I kind of like the wave each here farming where they're not just on their own. You see 4 heroes in a pretty small neck of the woods, all slightly closer together, but still, yeah, it's a little scary. Whereas DC feel very free to spread the map. You've just got Abed on his own bottom lane, mid being farmed by Bulba, 3 off towards top, so they are much less afraid of any potential ganks or aggressive movements.
Yeah, it's very smart for them to sit by Mason right now. Like, if he's about to get his relic, it's a very likely ganking time for their opponents.
Oh, big jump in there by the Ember. He's going to force out a Phoenix Egg and then Zippity-doo-dah, Abed. So see you later. So forces out a huge ultimate. Doesn't really cost him a whole lot, just a bit of mana.
So basically now all Phoenix can do is reduce attack speed and do magic damage.
They did find Dubu here. Ate his tree. Monkey trying to be cute, trying to be clever. As RTK looks to chase him down, they'll get the follow-up bash and the stun. So kill secured. They, at long last, get something going.
That's definitely a good kill, but it's not the same as the enemy team. Almost every single time that DC's been getting a kill, it's a supporter or hero right next to a tower. So even if they're only dead 20 seconds, it gives them a couple seconds to pressure a tower, forces another person from VGJ to respond. Like, they just lost a hero, and Bulba's still hitting this building, just because of the way that Abed and him have been playing down here.
And speaking of Abed, he was having a look here for FY. He's going to force him to Icarus dive away, and now basically out of the fight, though. Freeze doing a good job of forcing Abed back. Fenrir waiting, trying to catch him out, but not quite able to swing that slow paw of his. So he will make it away, but still, again, pressure, space created, all of it for the Spectre. Now picked up the Relic, and the Radiance, I imagine, coming relatively soon.
That's why this BOTs on Ember is so good this game, because they have weak disable. He can basically just show up, and maybe Dubu will die here, but he can just show up, mess around with them a little bit, make them back up, make them rotate heroes over, TP back to base. He can do that every, what, 45 seconds right now? And he's not even at a big threat right-click wise.
Yeah, and you have basically the same thing with the Prophet. Speaking of which, gonna find RTK, will TP out. As it seems he is also going to be going for that Radiance build, but his timing pretty slow as bottom lane, a big team fight breaks out. Overgrowth, as well as the Warlock ultimate committed here. They're going to see Fenrir going down nice and early. Now Freeze is going to try to keep the fight alive with the Stone Gaze, but ends up having to just disengage. DC forcing him out of the jungle. Mason getting involved again, and now only about 500 gold away or so from picking up the Radiance as we see top lane aggressive with the swap on Bulba. Does he have anything to follow this up with, though? Just auto attacks for the time being. No mana for a stun. Is, again, throwing out the Wave of Terror, but Bulba, no TP available. Now going to go for it. Doesn't quite have the mana. Aggressive. It's close, but no cigar.
Yeah. Bulba's really farmed right now. His items are great. Working his way towards the Orchid. Built the Midas after Drum, as is pretty standard right now in Prophets. And a lot of Midas is actually being built this game. I did like that Abaddon at least got his before his mana boots or whatever other boot option he wanted to grab. Usually phase, I guess, but just helps accelerate him a little bit faster. But the rest of the team isn't fully committing to that same kind of style. Vengeful Spirit not going to get Midas this game.
FY looking for a potential, at least, harassment here on Mason, but Dubu's going to retaliate. as he will help secure Mason's retreat. Radiant's now online. Haunt cooling down in a minute, and VG finally going to make what feels like really their first offensive move since that 0-minute smoke to try and secure a bounty rune. As they head into the Roche pit, they will do this while Haunt's on cooldown. They also know that the Golem is out of the picture for quite some time, but that doesn't mean Abed can't threaten to go in, try and snatch that Aegis. Remnant drop. Dubu looking for the setup here with the Boundless Drake, and RTK dropping dangerously low. They might be able to just force out this borrowed time, and then really sticking around in the Roche pit is extremely dangerous. We are going to see Demon trying to set things up. Boundless Drake comes through. Roche not low enough just yet, and Abed getting forced back. So with that damage he's taken, has to be careful. He's going to TP home, get BOT back in. Still DC, sticking around, threatening to go in.
They got 20 seconds.
Moving forward, they need a little more time for these ults. Abed's gonna jump into the pit.
Oh, no.
The Aegis snatched by Aggressive. The last hit, though, does go the way of the Dire, but he pays for it with his life. Vengeance, as Fenrir will take Abed down, and now the chase forward, looking for the Bulba kill. No mana on Aggressive as of yet, no stick charges either, but they don't need it. They're just able to muscle him down with auto attacks and the power of the sun. FY unleashing the Ray, a big fight for VG.
Yeah, there's about a 1,500 gold swing, but with that said, by killing Roche, your team gets like 1K across the board already, so I'm not 100% sure that's worth it. They're only dead for about 30 seconds or pretty early into the game, so a small victory. But still having the Aegis is definitely something that VGJ can try to exploit, especially because Venge almost has his Shadow Blade here. This is going to be an item. Normally see a Midas here, but with the Shadow Blade, he can actually try to put some tempo and pressure on the map.
I guess the one downside is you'd probably rather have the Aegis on freeze, right? So kind of being forced to just whoever can pick it up in the heat of the moment.
Actually, no, I don't agree with that. If there's no mana drain, I think freeze is a really hard kill right now. Whereas if Venge wants to get aggressive on the map with the Shadow Blade, he's going to put himself in a dangerous position, really, where he could be punished. That's where the Aegis is going to pay off.
All right, let's see if he can take advantage of it. Moving in. Under cover of Shadowblade, he's going to scout out Demon here in reserve, quickly gets jumped on. Fenrir combining, they'll find the early kill, and that's a great way to start the fight for VG Gaming. Now the Phoenix egg committed is Aggressive, chasing for those follow-up kills. Not able to find anyone just yet. Slightly underwhelming Kaboom is the Boundless Strike on Aggressive, combining there with the Sprout, but they're committing a lot just for the Aegis. We'll finally pop it. Is there any sort of response here? Overgrowth is cooling down, but they don't have the egg to combo with it, and Aggressive gets trapped, has to swap himself away. RTK there, trying to protect him as best he can, throwing out the shields, the heals, now the Ray comes! FY from the back doing what he can, but it's simply not enough. He has to dive away too. And it looks like in the end they will be forced to retreat, losing 3, losing the Aegis, and now looking for more. They're going to get FY on the back lines. It's Bulba to the rescue. Another big pick for him.
Great DB by him to clean up the rest of the team. That's a guaranteed tier 2. There's creeps at the mid tower as well, so this pressure is not going to stop, and all of that advantage that VG Gaming got was pretty much erased instantly, and that was still with killing Warlock at the start of the fight. No Golem, no Shadow Word, no Fatal Bonds. The Haunt with Radiance at this time in the game was just so hard to deal with. They were forced to use the egg almost instantly, and as a result, didn't have it a couple seconds later when they really needed it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that team fight on paper, and it's pretty dirty. Overgrowth into a Stone Gaze with the egg about to explode over your team, but in practice, FY struggling to find good egg opportunities, so maybe we'll see a defensive item pickup. Perhaps he can, you know, they can try and take a fight while the Haunt's on cooldown, but you know, the egg doesn't exactly have a short cooldown either. So it's only going to be up 20 seconds before the Haunt, so barring a Haunt used offensively on its own, it's not going to be too easy to find those clean windows for a team fight.
And as Spectre grabs more and more items, it's going to be things like agility items, attack speed items with some HP. He's going to be able to just jump on the egg right away, pretty much. No matter where the egg is, as long as he's not busy somewhere else and he's got Haunt ready, that egg's going to have a hard time cracking open.
VG Gaming now making a move towards mid. They're going to scout out Abed with the Shadow Blade. Let's see if he could maybe lead with the stun and just muscle him down with physical damage out of Invis, but already jumping away, so Abed wise that there could be a potential gank as he finds himself well on the way to achieve his guard now. So for the side of DC, everyone farming reasonably well as they're going to make their move. RTK caught out on the top side of the map. Dubu going to pounce in, still holding the Boundless Strike here. The ult being committed. Dropping low, he has at least bought the Relic, but he's so close to the full Radiance. Doesn't look like he's going to get it as they converge as the borrow time ends. Hitting him with another round of attacks. Boundless Strike finally dropped. They get the kill. And now VG Gaming forced to defend this tower without what could be a key weapon in their upcoming fight. So no Radiance now. Still for 500 gold as Bulba makes a big dive in. Can they punish this? They get the silence off on FY. No egg for you, sir, he says, killing him off quickly. And now on to Fenrir. Can they bring down the Treant Protector low? Being hounded by the Golem. Not dead just yet. Aggressive looking for the turnaround, though. They will end up finding 3, turning this fight on its head, and they do it without the Phoenix Egg required at all, with Bulba already dead. So basically, it felt like a 3v5, and they still get 3 kills of their own.
Yeah, the initiation was actually great for VGJ there. The Venge was in perfect position. He got to start the fight by stunning the Ember Spirit, and they got to follow it up with an Overgrowth a bit later as well. Guaranteeing that kill made everything so much easier for VGJ. There was no huge damage dealer other than the AoE Radiance Burn kind of thing. Spectre's just not quite ready to jump in and kill everybody. He needs to play around somebody else, taking some pressure off him. And Monkey King's not ready for that. The Golem can't do it for too long. And Ember Spirit getting locked down and killed. That just did way too much.
Yeah, maybe not respecting just how good Vichi's team fight is. That, you know, even if Phoenix is out of the picture, the follow-up potential of the Overgrowth into the Stone Gaze, still something to be feared. As I see them slow down a little bit more. So Freeze now on his way to a Hurricane Pike continues to quietly continue to be the lead farmer here in terms of CS anyway, as RTK has finally picked up his Radiance, should be coming out momentarily. So Vici Gaming about to hit that next power spike, Kevin, and as we hit the 25-minute mark, I guess the question is, like, do you see a timer for either team? Do both scale equally well late? And what is your game plan? It seems clear this game is not going to end, you know, sub 30 minutes. So we are looking more towards the late game now.
Yeah, it really is. And with that said as well, Abaddon is going to scale fairly well, I think, just because he's got the Midas so early and the Radiance picked up too. Monkey King got to be careful here. His Invis just ran out. Yeah, he's 20 seconds to his TP here.
Continues to go deeper, but they're looking for him now. Dubu, oh man, he's in deep. That is way too deep.
That was actually really unlucky. The Avenge just happened to be there. He didn't use his TP. He was actually here already, so...
He did get a ward down, though.
Oh, that's actually really good.
I guess if that goes unscouted, maybe it's worth it.
I actually think that, yeah, that's pretty worth it, I think. Because, I mean, look at the map right now. There's only 2 tier 2s alive. It means you want to keep your opponents in your base, and if they leave the base, you want to know where they go. And this is a place where nobody is going to anticipate a ward at this time period, except for the fact that Monkey King was just there. But we'll see. It might catch some spots, and at the very least, it's going to notice supports leaving the base, headed to the bot lane, things like that.
Aggressive, continuing to stalk around here under cover of Shadowblade, now back into the trees. And the threat of that gank has forced a gem reaction, but it's Fenrir who pounces first. He goes in, but Sleight of Fist then from Oppid. Oh, he just barely gets away. He salvages the gem. I think he lives.
Okay.
Does 70 HP. That was real close to a kill, but to get the Sleight of Fist off and barely able to make it out.
Just painfully watching is here to see if there's any other attacks that were coming, because jumping to your Remnant doesn't actually disjoint those attacks. There was a chance that one more little hit would sneak through and get him killed, but at least he saved the gem. That was what lost in the last fight, and they spent the money on it. They can't lose it this early.
Well, now he's got to be real careful. Like, he had the gem. Okay, now Aggressive can't sneak up on me as easily, but there's also the Blink Dagger on Fenrir, and that was, I believe, the debut, so...
Yeah, it was. Blinked forward and punched him instantly. 2.2 second stun.
That's some one-punch man stuff right there, as Fenrir hides in the trees up above. Dubu stalking him. But is currently Invis. It's Abed leading the way. Is going to find the chains connection. Do they want to follow this up, though? Diving that far for a tree. A bit dicey against the kind of teep fight that Vici can turn around with, and they are going to lead with the swap. They get up on Demon. The rock drop, but not to much effect as in comes Freeze. Engage with the Stone Gaze, combining it with the egg. Can Abed make it out? Looks like should be able to escape, at least for now. They continue pursuit. There is a haste rune here for Fenrir, so they might try to go for this. Aggressive is going to have the Shadow Blade soon, but they're basically just going to have to catch Abed being greedy if they want to get this kill, as he does end up just TPing fully away. So Vici Gaming dropped a lot of ults there, Kevin, but they will take the fight.
The game changed a lot in these last couple engagements. I mean, the big thing about that fight was the Observer Ward spotting those heroes. And what was insane, actually, is when he swapped Warlock, it killed the trees on both sides, which stunned the Monkey King for 4 full seconds. So there was no response from Monkey King to try to keep himself alive or Demon alive.
Oh, poor Dubu. All of a sudden, just can't seem to catch a break here, though. As I say that, it's going to be able to leap away. Vici Gaming not able to corral that Monkey King in time.
Very close, though. They got the vision, they lost the vision, and then he leaps to safety. Yeah, the fact that you kill both supports right at the start of the fight changes a lot, and all of a sudden the pressure for DC is feeling a little bit more difficult to execute. And that's mostly just because the disable durations on VG Gaming are finally in a good place. Tree's stun, his punch is going to do 2.2 seconds. And if you think back to how they lost that fight originally, I'm sitting here thinking, where did Tree get these 13 levels? He doesn't even have a Midas. And really, a lost team fight or two pumps this guy's levels up massively, which are now leading to kills. Just imagine if he had that gem back in that last fight, or a sentry in the right position, or if Abed played a little bit more carefully, game could have just been over right now.
Yeah, so for DC, given that the fights are not going particularly well, I guess, my question is, should they go to a plan B here? Would you like to see them just split pushing and dodging fights? Is it more about fight selection for you, or what's the game plan moving forward?
They're definitely always going to be good at split pushing with Prophet and the BOTs on Ember Spirit. So I think that's just something you fit in naturally. It gets you farm, it forces your opponents to react, especially with how few towers they have right now. Split pushing will be an aspect, and Roche control is really the big next objective, because they can easily still win this game. By all means, they still have 3 of the top 4 net worths in the game, so don't let their opponents get Roche for free. Maybe show up and fight this if possible, but 27 seconds left for the Rock.
All right, Operation Let's Get Mama Dusa and Aegis potentially underway here as freed up a slot. Freeze ready to grab this, and Dubu maybe looking to be cute, but his Tree gets eaten down with the monkey is the call. Will Abed even try for heroics here in the pit? He gets, well, actually, no, sorry, Demon getting swapped into the bash. Follow-up stun could be coming through momentarily from Aggressive. Is going to end up going down. Aegis secured by Freeze. Roche as well. They get the credit there for the kill, and now they just strut away. So Aegis on the Lady Dusa. And meanwhile, Boba doing a bit of split pushing. Takes this tier 3 bottom down about halfway, but give up half your tower's HP for an Aegis. 2 kills. And the Roche gold. Seems good for VG Gaming.
Not a good thing at all, but taking the tower to half, that gives me some hope at least for DC. The Tree armor is going to heal it back up though, so can he actually split push slowly while dealing with Tree armor? That's a harder question. So
that's a good point. Like that, and maybe that is an argument for not trying to just rely on split push to take this one.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. So almost pretty much every single fight leads one away. VGJ gets the vision. Oh, he's in trouble here.
Gets rooted. Abed trapped out. Now throwing the remnant, but not going to make it away. The physical damage simply too much here. Is Aggressive hitting for nearly 250 a pop. Not even mentioning all the minus armor this team can bring to bear. So a big pick is going to allow them to shove these lanes out if they so choose. And we'll see Freeze make the rotation bottom now. Butterfly coming, and there is a decent amount of magic damage. It's not like all in on physical versus Freeze, but this Dusa is just not feeling very killable right now. You've got Swap, you've got the Abaddon shields, the armor, not to mention if you fight into the Dusa, you're fighting into the egg potentially, Kevin. And on top of that, you mentioned Mana Burn. We're not really seeing anything yet, just for now the Manta being picked up on the Spectre, but still no Diffusal.
He actually did just finish it. Diffusal Blade just finished it. It must have been on the courier when you checked. So Diffusal Blade's ready, he's got the Manta style, but that basically means they can kill Dusa if she's by herself or way out of position. And that's what it's going to come down to. Kill the other opponents, the other enemies first, then kill Dusa. Those are the circumstances that they're looking for. But the last couple engagements have been all Monkey King getting killed first or Warlock getting killed first, so VG Gaming abusing their invis very well.
Boba might get punished here. Fenrir was waiting. Aggressive coming in now. He's going to drop the Wave of Terror, but reinforcements on their way. They get the stun. They should be able to get the kill, but Abed looks to turn it. He comes in, dropping the chains, and then getting the hell away. Has to be very scared of that physical damage. You saw how quickly he dropped last fight, so he doesn't even try to finish off the tree.
Yeah, Prophet getting killed quite easy. If you have detection or a gem or something like that, and you don't have a blink or a force or something that gets you out of danger instantly, and they can't catch up, then that's always going to be a big threat when you're playing Prophet. So.
And that is what I think that's what I like about the way VG Gaming are playing this, is they have the itemization of the blink on tree, the Shadow Blade on Venge. It makes it kind of scary to split push when these heroes can just ambush you out of nowhere. They don't, you mentioned, I think very true, they don't look mobile on paper, but the item selection is giving them that threat of gank that discourages split push.
Yeah, the Shadow Blade was ingenious just for that reason alone. And a couple teamfight wins, they get a blink on tree. No Midas, go for an action item, and I'm happy to see it. A little too many Midases being built right now.
But you're not a fan of like 9 Midases in one game.
Like 5, whatever. But when you do it 9 or 10, there's some heroes in there that don't need it, in my opinion. Sentry goes down, though. Fenrir spotting out the next team fight. He's got 2 points in Overgrowth if he can catch these guys.
Could be a huge grab to get things underway. Mason, having already used the Manta, could be in danger here. He's going to get stunned, then slowed down by the Leech Seed. Still waiting for reinforcements to arrive, swooping in deeper, dropping the egg. The overgrowth's there. Great combination, going now for the stun, but able to haunt away to the other side of the fight. Mason looks to reset, and it looks like they may have bitten off more than they could chew. Even RTK coming in, getting healed up by the Sunray, but FY so low. Boba brings him down. Now RTK, the ult's about to end. The pain might be beginning momentarily as he gets chewed up by the Mana Burn. Quickly falling, now aggressive. On to the next one, they say. Dusa looking to salvage the fight. They have to commit the Stone Gaze. They don't have a whole lot else just yet. They get the bash on Abed. Can they get the follow-up, though? Abed takes the tree down. Freeze, extremely tanky and painful, but doesn't really have much to work with here as Abed will get silent, sprouted now. Bulba trying to engage onto him, almost dies in the process, ends up living, kiting away. Great plays by Bulba, now looking for Freeze, looking for the team wipe. Can they finish him off? He's got the Aegis. They probably have to kill him twice as he will end up dropping. Yeah, Aegis not going to expire just yet. So round 2, here we go. Nobody in sight. Not going to be easy here for Freeze as they continue to pound away at him. Freeze going for the TP out. No! Oh. So close, but so
TP.
far.
That was such a good decision to TP. I thought there was no way he gets out of that, but they are limited on disables and just barely did get the kill. I can't even believe DC won that fight. It looked so bad for them at the start to egg right on top of those guys, but just shows how big of a threat Haunt is at this point. Every attack from the illusion drains tons of mana, does tons of damage.
I mean, it's a great combo, but Dusa wasn't there the entire fight until after that was over.
Yeah.
So, you know, is it worth it to commit the overgrowth just to set up egg when it means Dusa's not getting to hit anyone during that time? I guess that's really the concern for VGJ is they seem in those larger team fights very reliant on the Dusa to be there, and she is not the most mobile hero as RTK will get caught here, time being in the middle lane. You see the Silver Edge pick up on Bulba, so has to be careful not to get killed off without the borrow time activation. Overworking him a little bit, they chase on the Demon, they will bring him down. Now the power play potentially. Borrow time from RTK, Duber running right into the meat grinder and flying right back to the well. He'll be picked off. Now the Spectre could be next. Bulba tries to turn it, gets off the silence. Can't quite follow it up though. They're gonna chew through Bulba, finish him off. RTK will get the kill, but this leaves Mason free to run. Rough shot over VG Gaming. 4 dead, might be 5, as still the Dusa waits for her respawn. The big punish. DC right back into it.
Once again, Spectre looking like a hero that Venge just can't stop unless they start on the Spectre. It's pretty much the only way. And VG Gaming got so much tempo back in this game, but these last 2 fights have them just reading the game a little bit incorrectly here. I mean, especially in that fight 2 fights ago, it's all about the global. It's their engagement here, they put a lot of damage into Bad and never once triggered his ultimate though. I think that made a huge difference for VG Gaming's advantage, but maybe made them overconfident as well.
Yeah, they commit a lot here to kill off Demon, but remember, they're fighting without Dusa for 40 seconds, so, you know, even after they get that initial kill, borrow time eventually expires, they just kind of wait it out, kite, and then Mason comes rushing back in. He knows that there's not a whole lot to deal with him with the Dusa out of the picture, and is able to take advantage.
A lot of that actually was a tree getting overeager. I think he jumped straight onto the Spectre, and luckily for him, the Ember was nearby, guarantees the disable that gives you the vision. And that's very simple for Mason to just say, oh, this is an easy kill. I just attack this guy 5 times, he goes down. Tree just reading the team fight slightly wrong. He has to realize the threat that poses from DC's cores. Ember Spirit plus the Spectre together can kill so many people. And if they make that mistake, Prophet's going to TP in the back line. Maybe other heroes will re-engage as well. So
we are going to see Freeze call an audible as he transitions into an MKB, had the butterfly in the quick buy earlier, but decides he needs the True Strike to deal with that Radiance mischance and just a little more damage perhaps for the team. It won't be too bad. It does magic when it procs, so considering how much magic resistance is on DC's side, I think it's alright. It'll be good against Ember Spirit 2 break Flame Guard, but like you said, it's really all about hitting the target. It's way more important than his evasion right now, because he's not the target, right? They're going to go on his teammates, kill all the teammates, then deal with the Dusa. So this is a rare game, I think, where Dusa definitely needs to prioritize damage more. Alright. VG Gaming trying to stay on target here, as this is an elimination match. And in fact, all are from this point forward at the Kiev Major. They are forced into a much more defensive posture, and you can really see it just if you just kind of ignore the middle of your screen, just look at the minimap, the way VG are moving. Always 5 close together in the jungle, very afraid at this point with quite limited vision and with an extremely mobile DC lineup to strike out on their own, whereas DC still pretty confident, farming multiple lanes, moving around freely on his own. Dubu has been scouting out, and now DC are going to converge here, looking to take down This tier 2 top, second to last outer tower for VG, now under siege.
It's a kind of bad time for the fight to start. Boba did actually trap himself in the trees here. Tries to sprout himself out, does not work actually.
He's going to have teleport soon if he wants to commit it just to get out of this spot. But all of a sudden, it's a dangerous location as Fenrir coming in. I think actually hunting for the Monkey King there.
It was really smart by Medusa. She grabbed an illusion rune, sent them to the top lane to cut waves. These last so much longer than Manta illusions, so it made that pretty straightforward. But considering that Bulbo's in the wrong place already, I think DC did the right thing. Just push a little bit, but play it safe. Roche is up soon, though. That's going to be the next engagement. That's what the teams need to aim for. So VG Gaming is forced to be 5 at most of these moments. DC's not, so I think it's going to be a little up to VG Gaming to take the more forced engagement.
And I like the discipline from VG, as we do see RTK getting clipped by the scan here, but Roche actually not up yet. Because that's where VG are likely to get their team fight off, is when you fight them at the tower. So playing a little, as well as near the shrine. So playing a little more patiently, waiting for a better opportunity. Let's see if VG can force them to the pit, or if DC will be able to keep them away from it, courtesy of the split push.
It was really good ward vision down for VG Gaming right now. Well, that said, all they have to do is press Haunt, and DC sees everybody on the enemy team. So maybe this will be all right for them for now, but they've got to keep an eye on the Roche pit. It's up. They just can't let him snake it.
I have Scotty.
I like this choice. You a fan of this item, or do you usually prefer Heart first?
I like Scotty. I think it ensures that, like Phoenix dives away, you're still going to easily be able to run him down and catch him quite quickly.
Yeah.
A little bit better balance of damage and survivability. So I think it's always a solid pickup on Spectre.
Yeah, me too. I really like it in combo with the Spectral Dagger cooldown perk, because normally you throw so many daggers out, you run out of mana fast. So it's a place where Scotty mana on an agility hero actually pays off, where it normally is kind of just wasted. So that slow plus always dagger being there, I think it'll be really useful this game. Just got to be careful not to die.
Well, speaking of dying, we might see that mid soon as Bulbo comes in. He does get the Silver Edge, combines it with the Silence onto RTK. Now the Remnant in. Can they kill him off in time? They do, right before he's able to get the borrowed time off. He falls, and now onto Freeze. Stone Gaze already committed. He's being isolated here, but healed up from behind by the Phoenix. Has to drop the egg. They look to retreat as they fight in the Wukong's command. Dubu doing work, but gets punished for it. Will end up going down. So low, Fenrir is trying to stay alive, working on Opet. They're going to get the stun. They do get the kill. They went right into the massive team fight, and they do end up getting punished a little bit there in the end. Is now Warlock ult on cooldown, Haunt on cooldown, Roche is up, and I believe we're going to see VG Gaming head right towards it.
That was an amazing play by Fenrir there. Just looking like he's an easy kill. Ember was out of remnants, but he just turned and fought him with the Solar Crest, and Ember just kept missing. He doesn't have the best right click right now due to his kind of weird items, but ultimately Ember going down. So DC losing a fight. That looked really good for them, but with the Abaddon kill right at the start, looks so great.
And RTK did have to buy back, but that's like such a key situation to buy back is you're running this, really this 4 protect 1 Medusa. Like, yeah, Venture does decent damage with the AC pickup, but really is not going to be the main carry in these fights. And with this Freeze, actually going to be the one given the cheese at this stage. So they give him the cheese. They have the Aegis and RTK. Pretty much ensures that they can't be cute and just snipe him like we saw last fight with the Silver Edge into the Silence. So guaranteed a bad and borrow time in a team fight.
Yeah, may just focus them on killing somebody else instead. They could just silence the Abaddon, go on somebody else, because silence does prevent you from popping your borrowed time. Part of the reason that interaction works. And for that, Abaddon is going to queue up a Lotus Orb next to remove that problem. But he's got a lot of gold to go, and DC will have their ultimates pretty soon here. 58 seconds left for the Golem. And I don't even think they necessarily need that to win some fights.
Only game 1 here is Digital Chaos and VG Gaming J duke it out. DC, still actually both teams yet to threaten a tier 3, really. That bottom tower that was pressured earlier, right back to full health. So it doesn't feel like casual split push is going to work. Maybe you can rat it out, but you're really going to have to commit more than just a Prophet hitting a tower a few times and some treants. You'll have to stick around, and that's where VG Gaming could punish with the Shadow Blade, the Blink Dagger on Tree. As VG Gaming, the Siege Engine starts to roll down the mid lane. They have Aegis, they have Cheese. The split push isn't very quick from DC. Top lane, still at least one more wave potentially 2 waves before they're going to get to the tier 3. They're kind of hesitant to commit to this. The Spectre just sort of thinking about it, while VGJ, no hesitation, right onto the tower. They're looking to break the base.
The waves are being cut, but they've got to kill the creep waves, and they got to buy some time here, because it takes a while for the backdoor to actually set in.
Freeze is not really looking to give them that time. He says, stay right where you are. I'm coming for the structures, Dubu. Sticking around. And remember, they can trade structural damage here because they have the tree. As long as they don't give anything up. Will likely be a win for them. Taking down the tower, can work on the range racks, and that is guaranteed damage that you're not going to get back.
Good movement there by VGJ. So Shrines dropping is going to be bad for DC, but not the end of the world. It would be much worse on the opposite way around. But not a great sign for DC here. We got to take some fights that they actually win, because that's really been their problem. They had such a good early tempo, but every fight since then has felt really hard.
So what is the key to winning a team fight or any kind of engagement for DC, Kevin? Like, what do they need to do to find those good team fights?
I feel like VG Gaming is initiating most of the time. I mean, maybe that's part of the advantage that they have, is that they're always 5 in a lot of cases. So perhaps it's a vision-based thing, know where your opponents are so that you don't get engaged on, because very difficult to stop the tree from jumping on you instantly, obviously. But he's jumping on somebody, disabling, there's follow-up, there's more follow-up. I don't know, maybe start frontlining with Spectre, for example. Really tanky, is quite a bit of armor. Put that guy in the front, that way he can actually take some of the pressure off, because both Abed as well as Nature's Prophet can't really deal with that in the same way. And if they do get gone on first, those guys definitely get picked off in a lot of cases.
VG Gaming, no finesse required. They just 5-man death ball down towards the bottom lane. Group up, park Freeze and ROTK out in front, and get to work on buildings. Meanwhile, Pink's coming out as Dubu, I believe, got scouted here, dropping across the tree line. FY looking for that follow-up scout. They are going to lock onto him. They crack that tree down. They pull the king off his throne. They'll kill him, and now they can push towards high ground. No Monkey King buyback available, it looks like. So Monkey King out of the picture now. That means no Wukon's command, and he does have the Basher now. So pretty big deal to take him away for the next team fight.
This is tough for DC here. They may even run to the mid lane now. That would be the place to hit. Kill melee barracks while the creeps are in the base. All the other waves are pushed out, but not bot lane. That should give them a little bit of time to take the racks. Maybe enough.
Freeze knocking on the front door now. Anybody home, he says. DC. They answer, but not a very confident response, as they've already dropped the melee racks. They really have to get something out of this fight, but it's so tough to go on Freeze. Way out in front, being healed up by the Phoenix. They drop the rock. He's still basically at full health. The mono's quite decent as well, as Mason tries to work on him. That ain't gonna happen either. ROTK, borrowed time committed. But remember, has the Aegis, Freeze, has the cheese with the evasion of the butterfly. They just keep on hitting buildings. You can't get to these backliners because they're so damn far back. Still slash away at the Dusa. Still has the cheese available. ROTK with the Aegis as well. And now the combo, the turnaround, dropping first the Triad ultimate, then the egg, kaboom! Finds 3, looking for more. They jump deeper, looking for the follow-up on Mazik, and they bring him down. They will Abed, looking for the turnaround. He commits pretty heavily into this fight, but still, Freeze alive through it all, even going aggro onto Bulba, wants to bring the Nature's Prophet down. Can he do it? It's Freeze against the world. So tanky, so difficult to kill. Dubu in danger of dropping here. He's going to commit for it. He gets punished. Demon almost dead as well. Finally, they slay the beast, but the damage done as the melee Rex has fallen. The range Rex, one attack away from dropping. All 4 have buyback if required, and some might be because Bulba is threatening the top lane.
That teamfight coordination was insane. 2 buybacks, and DC loses by about 700 gold. Not much, but if the next fight goes like that, the game ends basically. That's a dead Ember Spirit, that's a dead Nature's Prophet. So they still lost melee barracks on top of that. Range barracks also very low, and they still haven't been able to take a tier 3 of their opponents yet.
Whew. Freeze going back for the Hurricane Pike now, so pretty close to being maxed out here as far as items go. Could maybe consider trading something out, but effectively, Freeze is as big as he's going to get.
So there was an engagement here. Once the Supernova came in with the Overgrowth, man, that looked one-sided. I was wondering why the egg took no damage. It was all the Overgrowth. The perfect coordination there when DC was grouped as 3.
You can see Mason just has to run pretty early in the fight. You really want Spectre to be going in. Freeze, just so incredibly difficult to bring down now that he has the butterfly, and no MKB here on anyone. I guess Bulba has the Bloodthorn, so potentially you get the True Strike if he's able to use it at the right time, and the Manta's on cooldown, but not really a very killable Dusa until the team fight's basically over.
Yeah, exactly. Phoenix does have Aghanim Scepter, by the way. He opted for the 150 GPM perk over the Fire Spirit's DPS, and he looks real rich right now. I mean, he's only 3,000 gold behind Ember Spirit, who's middle of the pack right now, by the way.
I'm starting to have slight flashbacks to that Disruptor game where FY got Ags and Refresher Orb. He has queued up the Refresher in the quick buy. Can you imagine a double Ag, a double Shiva's Guard, and with the Aghanim Scepter as well, potential here to bring that Dusa back for a second life.
Yeah, and he also refreshes the basic cooldowns. I don't think that matters this game, but fun.
Well, the Sunray is pretty big
but
potential here.
The ally you bring in with your egg.
Oh, you mean the
refresh.
Ags? Yeah, yeah.
I think it'd be 2 snakes in 10 seconds, dude.
Yeah.
Never know.
Good luck killing that Dusa once, let alone twice. Now, that said, if they do it, Freeze already used his buyback, so he'll be out of the picture for a long time. I believe RTKs has almost cooled down by now. As they are going to make their move, they find Dubu top, Dubu down, and no buyback for him. Out for 70 for DC. May have to wrap up the split push. I guess good news is this top lane's pretty far in. Mid lane, not really the lane that VG want to be focusing on, so may not transition into a full tower threat off of that.
DC still has to be so careful with their split push, though. Because of the tree and the other disables and things like that, it's already been just difficult for Boba to split push, for Ember Spirit to split push. Even Monkey King having some trouble here. But he does have Shadow Blade now. I don't know if they've got another gem yet. They have not. No gem on VGJ right now. But they're definitely in the lead right now. It's looking pretty good. They've also got some Lotus Orbs picked up, so the silence is going to mean less. Abaddon can pretty much get his ultimate off every time now.
Yeah, not to mention the next Rosh is coming, and potentially you can just grab the Aegis, get rid of the Midas, which has essentially served the majority of its purpose at this point.
He's got a backpack for that, right? Let it recharge a little bit slower.
Yeah.
I think the big item we're waiting on is maybe something new for Abed. I mean, he got his Octarine Shivas really fast with the Maelstrom, but it's been a while since we saw a new damage item. He's got a great build for keeping your opponents not moving and taking magic damage, but actually killing heroes, he's been having some trouble there.
And it's really not a single target Ember build at all. And the way the game's developed, it feels like you need to be able to kill a single target. It's really all about killing Freeze. Or maybe a backliner before they get off a key ultimate.
That's actually the big part. One really big advantage of Ember is, Mason's in a bad spot right now.
Mason out far, and he gets swapped. Looking for the top stun, but he dodges it with the Manta. Big plays from Mason on the big stage, but he gets bashed, focused, killed off regardless. He had fast fingers, but Vici had the numbers. Now the rock getting dropped. They fight in the Wukong's command. They stand their ground, still have to borrow time, and they engage forward, dropping the egg. Now potentially the retreat is DC. The Golem standing strong. Looks like they will force them on their heels. The egg is going to drop. Freeze still alive, is able to Manta his way out of the Sprout, and then the turn. There's the ultimate coming in. 1, 2, 3, looking to bring him down in a hurry. Finds not only the Spectre, the Prophet, but now looking for the Monkey as well. Abed on the run. He's low. He's not dead yet. Trying to chip him down bit by bit, inch by inch. Freeze does it. Gets the triple. Nails DC. And now the push down mid potentially to begin, though they are quite low and may want to heal up first.
Oh, they call it.
GG.
That's it. Man, Vici Gaming held on to such pressure from DC, winning teamfight after teamfight after the 30-minute mark. And it wasn't just because of the heroes they picked, man. That execution was actually insane.
Especially the later fights. Like I think probably for me, the crispest fight was that one at the dive.